our thriving nature strip, compost. I'll be adding some of this fishbone fern as an ingredient to the mix. But let me tell you why I think composting is such a good idea. A huge percentage of what we put into our waste bins and then to landfill is actually compostable. Things such as our kitchen scraps. At the tip, it just breaks down into harmful greenhouse gases. But why let this happen when we can turn this valuable organic matter into food to feed our plants and, most importantly, our soil with just a little bit of effort? Kitchen scraps like these I put in compost bins here in my backyard. But come the spring, the Verge is going to need a lot of food. And to do that, I'm going to need to make a lot of compost. Here's how I'm going to do it. You can make a large compost bin out of anything to hand. In this case, I'm using an old pallet cut into 2 pieces for the sides. Hay bales make the back wall, and star pickets to keep it in place. Anything organic will eventually break down over time. But if you want to accelerate this process, there's a few simple things you can do. First up, you need to get a good mix between your brown and your green materials. Firstly, brown materials, things that are dead and dry, like old leaves and twigs. I'm wetting down my first layer of brown material, then I'm adding some manure. I also dilute 2 tablespoons of molasses into a 9-litre watering can and pour it over the manure to feed the compost-making microbes. Next comes green materials, things that are freshly cut, like recent lawn clippings, garden prunings, even lucerne or vegetable scraps. As a rule of thumb, I usually use a ratio of 60 to 40 green to brown. In other words, slightly more green waste than brown waste. The smaller things are, the quicker they break down. My first layer of manure was cow. Now I'm using some chicken. Look, just get whatever you can. But the theory is the more diversity, the better. So once you get going, just keep repeating the process. Green layer, manure. Brown layer, manure. It's pretty simple, and it's important to keep the thing wet as you go because damp material will break down quicker. Well, I've layered that up into a really big pile, and it's volume that you need, at least a cubic metre, in order to generate the heat that will accelerate the breakdown of the materials. The other thing that you need is oxygen. This is going to hum along for the first month or so. After that, every 2 weeks, I'll turn the pile. That way, in about 3 months or so, this compost will be ready to put on the garden.